G'day Frothers, welcome back. It's bolted down under here, and today I have something very special. It is, well, special to me anyway, because it's the first time I've actually got my shit together and I'm doing a proper Rotary Hammer review. Now this one's just about its suitability for bolting. So is this little thing any good for bolting rock climbs? I got a few other drills and plenty of other data that I've collected recently, so I'll be going over the more general stuff in a separate video. But this one, you know, this is a rock climbing channel, so I'm just gonna let you know how I reckon this will go in actual rock climbing. So this one is the Makita HR140D. It's 140 because it's rated for 14 millimeters in hammer drill mode in concrete or masonry. It's 12 volts and it's got 850 RPM and 4,900 beats per minute, so it says. Yeah, sure, why not? This is a brushed version of a tool that I know and love. The 16 millimeter brushless, identical twin, just about. And so I got this one specifically for this video because I just wanted to see how much of a difference the brushed versus the brushless makes. And you know, you might have seen a couple of my other little posts. This one is my go-to drill for bolting rock climbs. It has been for the last year and a half. And I'm just basically doing this whole series of videos so we can find out what makes a good bolting drill. But more about this one. So this is the smallest rotary hammer Makita makes. It's a 12 volt version. It's got two modes. So hammer drill and drill only. And you may notice that, well, that doesn't actually hammer yet. So it's quite interesting. It actually has, I guess, a passive hammer mechanism in there. And you need to actually press. So yeah, quite interesting. I suspect that particular mechanism, which is in all the Makita compact hammers, is why they tend to be lighter than the other ones. Could also be that, you know, Makita's just more keen on compact rotary hammers. They've got 4, I think, whereas most other companies have maybe 1, maybe. Some companies don't have any. So yeah, not a bad little unit. Yeah, superficially, it's very light. So if we go, yeah, so it's very light with the battery. That's the bigger battery you can get. It's can you see that? 2.1 kilograms with the battery, with the handle. I normally do rock these with the handle, just because, you know, hanging off a rope, it's hard enough to get a straight bloody hole. All right, so why would I think this makes a good bolting drill? Basically, I'm pretty sure, without even trying it, that this can handle rock because it can handle concrete. And that may sound strange, but if you think about it, concrete is actually mostly rock. Usual mixes are 40 to 60% aggregate, and aggregate is often rocks. So any rotary hammer that can drill through concrete, which is every single one, even that little IKEA one, can get through rock at least a bit. This particular stuff, I got this out of some concrete that I was mixing the other day. I think it's quartzite, which is pretty common pretty common stone used for gravel and stuff around here. It's also about as hard as rock gets. So, you know, any little rotary hammer that drills through here is going to be able to handle rock. But the big question is what size bit. So the capacity here, 14 millimeters, that is going to be based on a combination of the torque, the impact force, the RPM, all of that stuff. I've asked the companies. I'm still trying to work out exactly how they measure it, but you know, it's something like that. So if you think mostly torque, it's going to take, I think that one's 14, so that's the max capacity. It's going to take a lot more torque to turn one of them than it is one of them. So that's a 6mm bit, that's a 14. So in rock climbing, unfortunately, you're not typically going to be using too many 16s. There are obviously 16s, sixes, six. So that's like 1/4 inch. Not everyone's going to be doing that. I am a rock climber. I am bolting mostly sport climb anchor bolts. So yeah, you could use them for little access bolts, caving, that sort of stuff. Maybe if you're aiding, you'll get a whole bunch more little holes out of there. They can they're taking body weight, but in general, I'm going to be talking about these subcompact hammers in terms of 10mm bolts, or like 3/8, because that's these guys. So 14mm is a fair bit bigger than 10, but really, like, is it going to handle it? That's the main question. The brushless drill definitely handles 12mm okay, but it's rated up to 16. So what we want to see is how well, in these tests, what we want to see is how well can it handle installing that type of thing. So these tests that I'm running in this video are specifically about rock climbing. This one's suitability for rock climbing. What I'm going to do is, I've got some granite, and I'm using granite for a few reasons, but basically, how many of these could you theoretically install in granite on the 4 Ah battery? I'm using these de Trois, I guess, must be French or something, drill bits. They're good and cheap and actually perform really well. I like these better than the Bosch or the Milwaukee. Plus you can get them in these handy packs. So this is a standard test that I'm running with all my drills as a way of directly quantifying their performance in a climbing relevant way. I do have a little video that I'll put up as well, just running through the test, because, you know, I'm a scientist, I publish my methods, let you know how we go. And yeah, basically full battery and one of these guys marked to 60mm. So we're going to see how many of these one of these can knock in one charge. Okay, so we've got the drill results now. I've cleaned up this rock. I marked out the parts that each drill did, and just got a little depth gauge that I just made just now. So the 14mm, that's the brush tool, did really well. So we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And just check a few of them for depth. They should be okay. Didn't quite make the last one. They should all be around 60. So the last one didn't quite make the depth, but you know, I'll count that. 65, 65, 65. Yeah, so they're all good. And well, I'll be a wallaby's uncle. I gotta say, I'm really surprised with that. So 15 holes with this little brushed fella. I posted a little video of these two drilling in that test, and yeah, so spoiler alert for that one. Again, I'm going to try and just publish all the data as well. I don't expect anyone to watch those playlists, but you know, it's there if you want it, and if you like it, let us know, and if you don't like it, that's fine. I mean, some things you just don't need to write on the internet, you know? But anyway, 15. Oh God, I am really impressed. But this is 10 millimeter, so pretty small. Pretty small. As I mentioned, I regularly use the brushless drill for the 12 millimeter holes. So I'll give it another shot out in the yard, and this time I'll use a 12 millimeter bit. I think this one's also marked to 60 millimeters, so we'll see how that goes. This isn't going to be a regular test I'll do with every single drill. Well, you know, maybe it will if people want to see that. But I got to be honest, I haven't taken this one out bolting yet. Most of my other drills, and I got a few now, I have been out bolting, and I can give an honest to God review of how they perform on a rope. This one I haven't, just haven't had the time, whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try out the 12 mil bit in a few different types of rock, just to get a feel for it, and yeah, let's see how that goes. Might even throw in a little bit of gratuitous slow-mo there, because the new camera can do that apparently, so let's see how that goes. Alrighty. She did not handle that very well. I think we found the limit. Looks like a 12 millimeter bolt is too much for this little girl. So I started off with some local sandstone, which is pretty damn soft. I do have this bit. The bit's been used, you know, once or twice, but you can see it's still in. Can you see? Hello. You can see it's still in, you know, pretty good nick. And yeah, just it hammered all right, but then once it got, you know, maybe 5-10 mil into the material, it just couldn't turn. So sandstone didn't really work. I did try the granite, and you know, even worse. It was really struggling. You could hear the motor not revving as fast as it would. So yeah, it didn't really handle that very well. I'd say 10 is going to be the limit. 10 or 3/8 is going to be the limit in terms of drill size. Just to make sure it wasn't the battery running down. I mean, I only let it get down to 2 bars. I did charge the batteries, swap the batteries during that test. I did change the batteries, but just to make sure it wasn't the batteries, because it sounded like it was really just winding down, losing power. So I did throw on the 6 mil bit, so that's like 1/4 inch if that's your language, and yeah, it worked fine. Like even in granite, it was fine. It only started struggling when it was, I don't know, 50-60 mil in. So definitely not a battery problem. It's a torque problem, and it just doesn't have the torque. But you know, that's fine. Like if if you're just doing small ones, if you're doing 6 and 8 millimeters, which most people are going to do that with their little hammers at home, installing the little wall plugs and whatever, perfectly fine. Would you want this for a rock climbing drill? Like maybe. Honestly, if you can do 15 of them in one charge, bring 2 batteries, like you can do a lot of damage to the cliff. Sorry, you can do a lot of root development to the cliff in a day. So 30 of them in a day is not too bad. But honestly, the price between these two, the brushless and the brushed, the difference was maybe 20 bucks, I think. This one I bought this one retail. I think it was 220. I think it was 220. This one was like 210, maybe 200 Australian dollars, obviously. So for an extra 20 bucks, you're getting just a much more capable tool. Having the extra torque, 16 millimeters, something's going on out there. 16 millimeters is fine. I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert again, this one handles 16, no worries. You'll see in another video soon, but just between you and me, this one doesn't lag, this one does. So like, honestly, you get this one if you like, but it does seem to be geared towards the sort of Japanese domestic market. In fact, there's a really cool video. I'll link that as well. Really amazing video about this thing, and it's just the complete opposite of every other power tool video you've ever seen. So yeah, check that out. But nah, as a climbing drill, honestly, if you want the 12 volt, get the brushless. Definitely get the brushless. I will always recommend you get the brushless. And as I said earlier, you probably even just want the 18 volt. But if you really do want the lightest hammer you can get, go that one. So yeah, anyway, thanks for joining us. This is the first sort of proper video. Been planning this for a long time, so it's great to finally get it out. Scratches later. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bottoms up.